Are we live?
Yes, Meet, we are live.
Okay, awesome. So, hey guys, this is Meet here from Team Ingenious. And firstly, thank you so much everyone for joining about. So, talking about myself, I'm a final year undergrad student pursuing my bachelor's in computer science from PS University Electronic City campus. And I'm here to talk about an interesting session today. Just a quick session on a Mozilla community. Firstly, I'm hoping that you guys all know about Mozilla. It's one of it's like one of my favorite open source community organization. To be very honest, I'll always call it as a community organization because they're pretty awesome when it comes to communities and helping fellow developers out. So yes, I'm here to give a small informative session on Mozilla Community Programs and how this Mozilla Community Programs can be helpful for you as a developer to grow as a developer and to evangelize tech as well. So if you are a developer or if you're a tech enthusiast, or if you always wanted to know something about Mozilla Community Programs or wanted to become a Mozilla rep or want to become kind of a persona where you wanted to start a Mozilla club, then this small informative session is going to be a great one for you. Yeah. So firstly, I would thank Mozilla for being a merchandise partner for Ingenious 2020, and Ingenious 2020 had the submissions for Ingenious 2020 just ended at 12 afternoon. Now the judging process is going on. It is Ingenious 2020 is a 9th iteration of Ingenious, and for the very first time we are being virtual, global, and free of cost for participants. The event happened very smoothly with us having with a series of webinars happening in the initial phase of our hackathon. That's in the month of September. And then in the October month we had registrations, and then we had an online treasure hunt, and then yesterday and today we had overall 6 major events happening throughout the hackathon to engage participants and give them the experience they deserve. So yeah, we hope that you guys had a great hacking experience at Ingenious 2020. And yeah, so let's start. Boy, can you share my screen on the YouTube thing?
Yeah, sure. You can start your presentation now.
Yeah. Is my screen visible? Can you see my agenda window?
Yes, Meet, it's visible.
Awesome. So firstly, I'm always a fan of a do you know fact kind of a thing. To start my informative session, I'll just give you a small do you know fact about Mozilla Firefox. Did you know that Mozilla Firefox is open source and is the only browser made by a not-for-profit mission-driven organization? Well, there's an interesting thing in the tech industry, that when it comes to open source, people are always like that. Hey, everyone is like talking about open source. What is open source and stuff like that. So if you really want to deep dive into open source, Mozilla was the pioneer for open source, I'll say, because they have been a non-for-profit organization and they have done a lot of stuff, and specifically for Linux developers and and people who want to deep dive into open source contribution and expand the technical skill set, Mozilla is the very best. And so the agenda for today's informative session is very simple, short, sweet. That we'll be having a small informative session on Mozilla Community Programs. Then we'll be having a quick Q&A, and then I'll be sharing there's a link in description about Mozilla, how to join Mozilla communities and stuff, which I'll be giving you a walkthrough today. And yeah, hope you had a great hacking experience and hope you find this informative session useful. So again, thank you so much for Mozilla for being a merge partner. Now I'll move on to the informative session. So before I talk about all of this community portal of Mozilla or anything, I want to just give you a brief about what is community. There's this long buzzword going about in communities that hey, everyone is talking about communities. What is communities? So to help you to tell you in a nutshell what communities is, it's basically learn among us and then give it back among us. So basically you learn and then you give it back to the community. So it's like if you are a group of people who are like-minded people and who want to solve a real problem, then it's a community. And if we talk about Mozilla community is like one of the largest developer communities around the globe. And we're here to talk about some of the Mozilla Community Programs here. And again, there's a long myth about developer communities and how it profits and how does helping developer communities work and stuff like that. So to give you an answer for that in a nutshell, I would just say that if you are a developer and you need help, what do? You go to Stack Overflow, right? Or your code isn't working and you want to find and you want to resolve your error, you go to what? Stack Overflow, right? You want to showcase your projects, or you want to you basically just want to put up projects or do open source contributions on GitHub. Okay, what is GitHub? You go to GitHub, right? What is GitHub? What is Stack Overflow? What is Free Code Camp? What is Kaggle? What is LinkedIn? What is they're all developer communities. LinkedIn is a professional community, but apart from that, GitHub ho gaya, ya फिर Stack Overflow ho gaya, Kaggle ho gaya, they are all developer communities. And why developer communities is just because if I want to work on a project with people who share the same mindset with me, then I would always go with I would always prefer working in a developer community, because the advantages are simple. It helps you grow. It helps you grow as a person. You get to meet a lot of people, share thought processes, collaborate, and stuff like that. See, if I talk about Ingenious is a community. I'd say always is a hackathon, but it's a hackathon driven by a mission of community. So, giving you a walkthrough about our hackathon. Yeah. So this is all about Ingenious. This is our website, ingeniushack.tech. It's a 24-hour hackathon, always organized by PS University, and and for the past 8 years we have been doing that. So we had this Get Set Prep series that we talked about initially. Then these are our sponsors: Cryo, Deffolio, Wolfram, Gold, Silver, and stuff. We'd also like to thank Mozilla for being our board sponsor. We also had great. This were the prizes that were there for Ingenious, and talk about community partners. So we always, this is the very first time we have introduced a concept of having collaborating with communities. So we had these are all developer communities who we have partnered with. I guess you would be familiar with a couple of them, like Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Community or Developer Student Clubs Community. Android Coach is an Android community. Community Folks is a community organization of community managers across India. Folk Developers is a developer community based out of ISKCON, who helps ISKCON temple in technical aspects of ISKCON temple in all around the country. The Curl Code is a non-profit organization helping women in tech. So these are all communities. Now, I'll say the biggest developer community is this Mozilla. What Mozilla does is as we mentioned, that it's a non-profit organization, and they basically help evangelize and utilize tech. They help. They have certain products like Mozilla Firefox or and many more. So we're here to talk about not Mozilla products or anything. We're here to talk about the Mozilla Community Programs. So yeah, here it goes. So first of all, the thing which I would want to talk about is the Mozilla Rep program. Basically, who are Mozilla Reps? Basically, Mozilla Reps are basically kind of a people who are representatives of Mozilla community. So what do? Is they help. They're basically Mozillians who wants to mobilize and develop functional Mozilla communities. So similar to Google Developer Groups, Mozilla has their own Mozilla Rep program, where you can be a Mozilla Rep representative and be a part of the Mozilla community family. And the main vision of it is to educate and empower people to support Mozilla's vision to project-based Mozilla's leadership agreement. So basically, they help you get started with your open source contribution on Mozilla projects, or they conduct such technical events to help you grab the technical skills that you need to solve Mozilla projects and stuff like that. So this is one of the greatest growing Mozilla Rep communities. Mozilla Rep is one of the greatest programs. And see, for example, if you talk about the events that they have conducted. Okay, my net, it's okay. Yeah, so see, they have they have this weekly calls that happen, and apart from that, Start with Rust is a workshop that happens where it happens. So basically, they conduct workshops, mentorship sessions, and anything you want to know. So if you are interested about open source and if you want to join an open source organization, Mozilla Reps is a program for you. Uh, Next one is the Support Mozilla program. That basically it's one of the favorite programs of mine, to be very honest. Uh, Support Mozilla is basically uh, it's basically an open source organization or an initiative, and this is a program. And Support Mozilla are the group of people who contribute to support Mozilla. So it's basically a group of contributors on open source who contributes regularly on open source organization. And like for example, they have a related event on October 20 where Firefox 82 Sumo Sprint, or and they're the community of 114 members, and established on January 13th. I just saw this and I'm like, this is really great. So this is like Mozilla Rep is a program, Support Mozilla, Mozilla Karnataka, basically all about people from Bengaluru, and then city-wise Mozilla Rep programs are going on. So there's a lot of stuff. There are a lot of user groups that are there for Mozilla. So if you're interested, go check them out. The link for this community portal is there on in the description below. And they also conduct activities and sessions on like contribute to Common Voice or answer support questions or localized. So these are some of the Mozilla open source projects there, and they grow by how people keep contributing, and and the projects are made. And also you must be thinking about how, as a college student, I can start a Mozilla campus club, or I've always thought about that like is like DSC or developer student club, do we have a student club for Mozilla as well? And yes, they do, and it's really great. So Mozilla campus clubs, what is it? Its mission is to ensure the internet is global public resource, and it's accessible to everyone. So basically, they want to empower open source, and they through to all the students studying in universities, and they do it through the Mozilla Campus Club program. So how do they get involved? Just basically go register so if you have a coding club, or if you have a technical club, or if you have or if you want to start one, you can always get associated with Mozilla, and then you get in contact with a Mozilla rep, or in that particular in that particular region, and then from there you get a chance to grow your community or grow your Mozilla chapter. One of my friends, she's from SRN Kezilla, and I've seen her from starting from a sponsorship assistant to now being a sponsorship head at Mozilla, and she the content that is put up by those Mozilla clubs and chapters, the type of innovative stuff they do. The Hacktoberfest is like their a marriage season for them, because they keep contributing on Mozilla open source projects, and they basically make a small web app with just a Google form to a full-fledged website, all with open source contributors. So if there's anything you want to know about, or if you want to kickstart your journey with on open source contributions, Mozilla is the thing for you, because I love the vision that they share, that that it's like internet is free of resources, and anyone can access it and utilize it if they know how to utilize it. And Mozilla does that, how to utilize those internet resources and grow as a developer. So if you are a developer, or if you're a tech enthusiast, or if you're someone who just wants to kickstart their journey in open source contribution, I guess you can start off with just doing editing the Mozilla documents, like just maybe editing the README file, send a commit, commit and send a merge request or something like that. Send a pull request, and then kickstart an open source journey with Mozilla. So I believe that if we talk, so to give you guys a nutshell, Mozilla community programs are for all the students, or software developers, or tech enthusiasts who basically wants to who shares the same vision as that of Mozilla, that help and grow as a community, and because you never grow alone, but always in the community, right? So yeah, that is there. So and once you share the vision and you get in contact, do the official formalities that are there, and then kickstart your journey with Mozilla. And I'll be very honest, I've seen people being Mozilla reps and grow, and then being DevRel in Fortune 500 companies. So that is the empowerment and the experience you get at Mozilla. Last year we had we had a Hacktoberfest session where we had speakers coming from Mozilla, and trust me, they were fourth year students, and they were Mozilla reps in the Chennai region, I guess, and then now they're placed in as a as developer relation managers or developer community managers in Fortune 500 companies. So Mozilla provides you that platform. Mozilla provides you that experience that is needed, and yeah, kickstart your community journey with them. I believe that it will be a great informative and learning thing for you. So to give you, so I hope that I was clear, and now we can move on to the Q&A session if we have any. Yeah, I'll stop screen sharing and I'll, yeah. Yep. Do we have any questions, guys? Anything? Like any question regarding developer communities or hackathons or a Mozilla, or how do I kickstart my developer community journey or anything? Shoot up.
There has been a question going around, about how these open source softwares are benefited. Like, what kind of monetary support do they, or do they get monetary support, any kind of monetary support? Because all their software is free, right? So no one would be paying for it, and they would be just using it for free for their use without having to pay anything. So the developers don't get any kind of money from that side, or like a monetary support. So how does that keep motivated how does that keep the developers motivated to create more and more free software, and then just like without expecting anything in return? So yeah, that was my question.
Sure. There's always this thing about how do I keep myself motivated and engaged in a community-driven stuff, or like end me, how do I survive? There's always been there, and like I've been in the community industry for now 2.5 years now, and this is always asked. This is like key. How do I keep myself engaged, or how do I benefit from here? Give a basic example. Google Summer of Code or the Linux kernel program, you get paid for that if your project gets selected and you get into GSOC and stuff. But there are other organizations like I don't remember the name that has just this initiative of free. That you can just come over, contribute and stuff, and they don't get so much participation and all. What if I want to know, if I want to make money out of this now, what I'll do is you keep contributing, keep writing blogs. Once you do that, you are in the recruiters. Like for example, the recruiters are you are in the eyes of those recruiters if you're looking for a job. So if you want to be an open source contributor and earn money as well side by side, then there are two approaches for it. Either choose an organization that will pay you, or if they don't pay you, then choose a project through which you can upskill your level from here to here. So basically, this is more of a learning project for you that you keep pushing up, and then trust me, if you would have done that efforts, no, you'd be visible. And once you're visible, the calls are gonna come. Like, can you come for a talk at my session, or can you come for a learning jam with me? And then they pay you for that. So this is how you it's similar to how influencers work, right? Once you are in that industry where people start getting to know you, or people start getting to know your skill set, content, and stuff, then it becomes pretty easier, because you're already in the eyes of recruiters or in the eyes of companies. So if once you put up that open to work LinkedIn, no, the people are going to approach you straight away. That okay, he knows how to make a project from and change it from, and bring the level of the project from here to here. And that's a very big thing, because what open source contribution will teach that is my thought process, or is my coding style, or is my way of working appreciated in the industry. Because once you start putting up or sending up pull requests based on your way of changing up their code, and modifying it to a better version, then you get to know that are you going on the right track, right? And from there you get to and if your pull request gets merged or gets and stuff, you get a confidence, okay, that I have that ability to scale up a product, to modify a product into a better version, and that's amazing, that's really amazing, to be very honest. And once you do that, no, you're going to be eyes into the organization, and once that organization gets funding, they'll pakka pay you, and they'll get you on board. And if they don't, other people are seeing that, because trust me, people are getting hired through GitHub as well. Like one of my friends, he contributed continuously to some Linux some organization, and he got an offer from and he wrote a blog. He's my classmate and a close friend of mine, and he kept writing his blogs and learnings from those. He's in this open source journey for like 3 or 4 years now. In his 10th standard, he used to write Python scripts and all. And for people on PS, if it's like generally engineering colleges don't promote on this type of people much. Certain type of people who are continuously into open source contribution and stuff. So this person, okay, he basically kept contributing and kept writing his learnings in the form of blog and kept publishing him. Trust me, he got an offer from a Norway-based startup, and his earnings are literally higher than an average salary of an Indian IT professional. So it is gonna get visible. You're gonna get offers from people. People are gonna value your contribution for sure. The right time is gonna come, but it's just that I believe that right now is not the way for being an open source contributor full time. I would just suggest that keep contributing, keep learning, and don't leave that. And if you're a student, trust me, if you're a full time, then you need to think of money and survival class. But if you're a student, trust me, open source matters, and it is valued, and it's valued a lot. So if you're an open source contributor, trust me, you have amazing programs like the Linux kernel program uh, or the Google Server of Code program or the Google Season of Docs program for technical writers, and they pay you, and they'll also help you grow in your career, and that is very important, to be very honest. So if you and trust me, the biggest challenge as a software developer is how do I work on someone else's code without comments or something, and you get this skill through that, and that the first thing that recruiters want to see is like, can he work on an existing code base? How much time will he need to learn this particular code base? And when you do that on open source programs, they already get a gist that, okay, if he can work on this program without getting a sense of who did it and all that stuff, he can contribute. And for people who are creating softwares for free, trust me, what values is a skill. So the skills are something that is never going to be invisible. There's always going to be visible for the right people. So you don't have to worry about anything. You got the skill set, people are going to hire you. Freelancing is the biggest example for that. You don't have to worry anything about that. You got the skill, you can get the money as well. And right on time, you can get it. Trust me.
Thanks a lot, Meet. That was a very descriptive answer. Like, to be honest, that made that cleared my understanding with all the support that you get from the open source communities. Okay, so we have a couple of more questions over here. We have a question which okay, so Drew has asked, how do we become a Mozilla representative? So like, I think he's asking about the procedure. Can you talk a bit about that?
Sure. So to become a Mozilla rep, it's simple. You just have to go to Mozilla Community Portal, and you have to apply from there. And the link is already there in the description. So you can join those Mozilla rep programs. It's similar to getting into a. It's like you just have to go apply, and then they'll evaluate you based on whether you're a fit candidate for being a community person there, or being or a Mozillian. And then once they sound you fit, they'll get you in, and then they'll assign you a chapter, or you'll be a part of a Mozilla chapter. Simple as that.
Okay. We have one more question here, which asks, how does the Mozilla community
function? Okay, this is an interesting question. So see, they have different aspects. Okay. So it's not like you can just join in there because you want to work on events, or it's you just want to be there to just grow a club and all. They have different visions and they have different interests. So once you become a part of a Mozilla community, no, you get a sense and experience of working on open source projects, working on Mozilla open source projects, then basically how to conduct technical events, how do you evangelize tech. There's this biggest myth in the software in the community industry, or in the developer community industry, is like events kara do, sponsorship ad kara do, ho jayega. Trust me, the real way to help a developer is to go sit in front of beside him and tell him that, this is how you should work, this is how you should grow, this is how you should code, this is how you write and you should not write a dirty code, and you should write in this manner. So that peer-to-peer learning, or specifically learning sitting beside a developer, is how you help a developer. Because and that is what happens in Mozilla as well. That once you become a part of the Mozilla community, you get a chance to meet other Mozillians, and share interests, and collaborate, and get your problems really solved. Like, for example, if you're working on a project and you get stuck on a project, they give you that platform to if you to abide by the guidelines, and put up as a Mozilla open source project, and then you see the amazing innovations and modifications that come up on your project. So if you're stuck on something and you really need help, Mozilla community is really good. So in a nutshell, I'll say that Mozilla community is one of biggest developer communities, and they have programs like Mozilla Rep programs, campus clubs, and all, which basically is kind of a thing where campus clubs have a rep associated from Mozilla to guide them up in case they need any help, and then Mozilla reps are under on a superior developer community people from Mozilla. So this is a hierarchy that goes up there, and trust me, being a part of that ecosystem is really awesome, and you got to learn a lot about all of the stuff that goes on being a part of a Mozilla community. So if I am here, and if I get a chance to be a part of Mozilla community in any way possible, I would go for that. For sure, I would go for that.
Thank you very much, Meet. We will stick around for some more questions. If you guys have any more questions, just put it up on the comment section and we will get back to you.
Meanwhile, if ingenious participants are seeing this webinar or informative session, the judging round is going to be between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And so please stay active on your Discord server so that the judges can approach you in case they need any help. Then then the shortlistment of the top 15 teams is going to be announced, and then we'll be having our closing ceremony on our ingenious hack closing ceremony, and the final top 15 live transparent judging that is going to happen, so that it gives you a gist about it helps you out a lot, and it'll give you guys a chance to know what the best top 15 teams ideas were and how did they implement it. So yeah, turn on those post notifications of Ingenious Hack Plus UCC, because we have a lot of interesting stuff coming up today. Do you have any questions, Mohib? Anything else?
As of now, I don't see any questions. I think mostly have been answered already.
Okay. So then I would just like to thank Mozilla for being a merchandise partner for Ingenious, and I would also like to thank all the people who watched the webinar, and looking forward for amazing for you guys joining a Mozilla and helping the developer community around. Thank you. This is Meet signing off. Thank you. Thank you so much, Boyd, for being this amazing host. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.